If you're using rackless luggage on your Aprilia Tuareg 660, you need this, the soft luggage brace. I'll go through how to make it or how to get it, depending on what you want. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. So I've been running soft luggage on my Tuareg for the 18 months that I've owned it, almost 2 years, it'll be 2 years in April. But in that time, so I built my own luggage setup, and I'll leave a link to the DIY 2.0 setup. But unless you've spent $1,000+ on your rackless luggage, the chances of the harness and stuff being just a little saggy and maybe a little bit difficult to hold in place is probably quite high. And what I had ran into, as much as I could try to keep this thing tucked in, is there's really not a lot of frame down here to keep luggage from kind of swinging into the wheel. Thankfully not into the tire, I didn't have that issue, but the chain guide here absolutely got destroyed just because this was swinging in just enough when the swing arm was articulating. So it really got me thinking, how can I keep my luggage from swinging in to that area, keep it off of the chain guide, and give it a little bit more support? And that's how I came up with this particular brace. Now, I didn't want to go to a full luggage setup, and I know that some of the really expensive $1,000+ rackless luggage harnesses, from what I've seen and some other people measuring it, it weighs just as much as putting a luggage rack on. So I don't know that there's a lot of benefit if it weighs as much as a luggage rack. Where this, I don't know, half a pound, not much, but it provides a brace. Now, I used a aluminum 1/2-inch rod here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make this yourself if it's something that you have the tools, the time, and the interest in doing. And for those of you that maybe want something like this to help keep your luggage from getting in here, but don't have the tools, maybe don't have the time, or maybe aren't interested in doing it yourself, if you stay to the very end, I will let you know how you can get one of these from me. So with that being said, let's get started on putting this together. There's not a lot to it. It's not going to take much time. It's just sourcing all of the right things that you need. All right, if you're wanting to make this yourself, the first thing you're going to need is a 1/2-inch, 2-foot long aluminum rod. That's what I used. This is one that we're going to convert into that same brace that we've got there. So we've got these. It's not that expensive. You can go to about any hardware store and pick this up. You can buy them online as well. So that's what we're going to start with. And then I have my list of items. We have an M6 by 1.0, 16 millimeters long. This is what's going to go mount it in there. So you're going to need a couple of those. Now the hardware list, I'll put it in the description because it'll just be a lot easier in the description so you know where to go. I'm not going to leave links because you can just go to your hardware store. You just write the list down of what you need. Go to your hardware store. You'll be fine. And then an M6 1.0 by 40 millimeter. And then I have some flat washers that I used. And then I think the more important thing, and I'll explain this as we're doing this, is a spacer. The spacer that I have here is basically an M8 by 16 millimeter by about, I think, 15 millimeters tall. It's 1/2-inch, so 12.5 millimeters tall, 13. And there's a reason for that, which I'll go through as we're going through this assembly. And I have some locking washers too that I put on here just to kind of keep everything in place. You can use Loctite if you want to do that. I just use locking washers, so in case I need to take it off, it's pretty easy. I think that's pretty much it. So we're going to go through, I'll show you what this looks like in place, and then I'll go through each of the steps of how I made this, just using tools I have at home. This foot peg here has 3 different mounting points on it. And I found that, I didn't even know it existed until I saw a luggage rack on this bike that was using those mounting points. And it gave me the idea of coming up with this brace. So I have 2 bolts in the back here using the top 2 mounts. And just had to figure out what the distance was, flatten the aluminum rod out, which we'll go through, and then bolt it up. Now I ran it up to this point here, and I have a luggage rack, and I was able to slide it underneath. I will get a better angle, but there's a spacer in here to keep it off of the plastic. So the plastic here, if you're to use a screw, you're gonna need the spacer because you don't want to pinch into the plastic. You could potentially break the plastic. So this will pinch everything together, and then we'll have a new bolt in here that'll be longer and fit in. Now, I know some of you are going to ask what this angle is. When you're making it, you can adjust this angle to whatever you want it to be or however long you want this piece to be. I will give you the measurements from here, and then what I would recommend is, and I'll go through this, is you just bend this up until you get it the way that you want it. So let's get started putting this together. All right, what I have here is I had flattened out the pipe, and when I first made this, I didn't exactly know how long I wanted it. I got it fairly close using my broken tape measure here. I think if you were to go 2 inches from the end or 51 millimeters, that would give you the length that you need in this flat area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mark the 2-inch area, and then when I go over to the press, I know how far to put this in to flatten this area out. Now I already have the holes. I had to oversize this hole, so I'm gonna try to do a better job, but I will let you know after I get this smashed down and I go to do the drilling of the holes where that's going to be. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna flatten this out. Now there's a couple ways you could do it. I suppose you could do it with a hammer. You know, I'm not going to do that because I want it to be clean. The other thing is if you have a vise, you might be able to put it in the vise and smash it down. I don't know if that's going to work because I have a press. So let's go do that. All right, I've got my rod in here and there's the mark. So I'm going to slide it between these 2 plates. And then I'm just going to get that smashed down. I want to make sure that stays straight. All right, and I'm gonna smash it down till it doesn't feel like it wants to smash anymore. All right, and we'll loosen this and pull that out. And now we have that flattened out. And we can drill the holes, and that'll get the first mounting location completed. All right, we have the flange cut down for the brace where it's going to mount on to the foot peg. And now what I need to do is I need to drill the 2 holes. Now I did the best I could measuring this in a US standard measurement. It's approximately 13/16 of an inch. So if you just use oversized holes, I think when I measured it back up, it's just short of 7/8 of an inch. And so let's get that drilled. I'm going to get it marked and get it drilled, and I'll tell you what size of drill bit I'm using. All right, I've got the holes marked. I'm going to use the overall hole size. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch drill bit, but I'm going to start with a pilot hole. I just find whenever I'm doing anything with metal, it's just easier to drill a pilot hole and then size it up. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, now we're going to drill the 1/4 inch out. Remember, aluminum is soft. It's going to just basically buzz right through. I have my holes drilled, so the first thing I need to do is make sure that they're in the right spot. So I'm going to put the first M6 by, I think we said 15. I'm just going to set that in. Just start it, just to make sure the holes are aligned. And then get the other one started. And I'm gonna need to make this second hole a little bit bigger just to get it to fit right. All All right, I got the second hole reamed out enough to get a bolt in. And the next step is figuring out what angle you want this next piece to be. And I had gone with 15 inches from the end is where this mark is, which is what my original one was. And the reason I went with the 15 inches in and didn't go up further is I want to reduce this angle. The steeper this angle is to move this up into the hole, the better the chance there is to fold the aluminum. And what I don't want is I don't want the aluminum tubing here to fold in on itself. I don't have a tube bender, so what I've got to do is I've got to be very careful, and the lower this angle is and still provide this brace in this area for my bag is really what I'm after. I don't need it out here, I need it down here. So at 15 inches from the end is where we're gonna bend this up into this into this position and figure out how much of this we need to flatten out. Let's get this bent. I'll show you what I did, and then I'll have this to match it up. You won't have that, but I'll show you how to get it to the right position once you get that first bend in. All right, I put this in the vise. I wrapped it with this glove just to keep it from marring, the vise from marring up the aluminum. It's not that big of a deal. I just thought it'd just something I did. Anyway, the more important thing here is this flange piece here, where it's flat. It needs to point, it needs to be horizontal. It needs to be pointed, so the flat part needs to be pointed up. Your holes need to be up and down. Because if you bend this, and this is in the wrong position, it's not gonna fit right on the bike. So all we're gonna do is turn and bend this, and I'm gonna be very, very gentle because I don't want to flatten it. And it doesn't have to go far. So that little bit that I did gets me really close. We'll fit it up, and I will show you how to make sure that you're in the right spot. And this is gonna have some movement and flexibility when you mount it. All right, loose fitting. I probably didn't bend it perfectly off of where it needs to be, and also the bike is, you know, this next mounting point is a little bit on the inside, but that's the beauty and why I wanted to use aluminum, because it'd be easy just to bend that in place. So the next thing I need to do is I will need to cut off just a small amount of this because this is going to be too long. So I'm going to mark where I want to cut it. I want to cut that piece off. And I know my hole, actually I'll go here. I know my hole right now looking at it is going to be right about there. So I want to flatten it where my rack is. So I don't want this to be around and keep that out. So I need it to be flat going up underneath the rack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch off right here. And then I'm going to put this back in the press and flatten it. And then we'll go to the next step. I won't show the cutting this piece off and flattening it. You already know how I flatten. So we'll go from there. Angle's bent. I've flattened this out. Now I got to figure out where that hole needs to be. Now I have it loosely installed at the foot peg, the passenger peg. Now this is where your spacer comes in, and that's going to go behind the plastic there. And because I have a rack, it goes in there. And then I'm just going to slide that up and center that piece in there, mark it, and that's where my hole needs to go. Then I'll take this back out, drill that hole, and then we'll get it mounted. All right, last thing to do is I've got my spacer in there, maybe. Slide that piece up in there. I've checked the hole already. Looks like it's lined up. I had a little bit of difficulty getting it initially started, but there we go. And then I could tighten it up. And that gives me an extra, I don't know, 3 inches of this coming down, and then I will show you where this sits in here. But since I have put this on, I haven't had any issues getting into the chain guide. All right, there you have it. That's how to make this rackless luggage or even soft luggage brace for your Aprilia Tuareg. Now, if you have other bikes, you might be able to do something very similar. I don't know what the mounting locations on the foot pegs are going to be, but if this is something you wanted to do for another bike, this is certainly something that is possible. I think just the way that Aprilia made the foot pegs to mount up the racks came out perfect for doing something like this. I also think that if I wanted to just run saddlebags, that this would give enough of a surface that a standard saddlebag, not a full harness type of thing, would probably work okay. I'm not going to go through the difficulty of switching this out and trying, but it's possible because the other side is the exhaust. So as long as you put a shield on the exhaust, I know that side's fine. And something like this will keep it out of the chain guide. So that's exactly what I wanted to accomplish with this. Now, I think I've done 3,500, 4,000 miles with this in place. And it's significantly reduced the movement of the bags. And I know that because I watch the videos that I film and they're not moving in and out. And then of course the chain guide is not getting hit now with my luggage, which is exactly what I wanted to do, is keep that from happening. And this has done exactly that. Now I know some of you may be thinking, why not make this out of steel? And I did think about doing that. There's a couple of difficulties with using steel. One is it's going to be more difficult to smash down flat. I haven't tried it. It could be just fine. The other thing is drilling holes in steel is going to be harder. Not impossible. It can be done. I've done it a lot. But I just knew that was going to be a little bit more difficult to work with. And more importantly, getting this bend on a steel bar is going to be more challenging than it is on aluminum. The real big factor, there are two more factors, is the steel bars are 2 to 3 times the cost of aluminum. And they weigh quite a bit more than aluminum. And I actually don't want steel on here because I think that is too stiff of a structure. If I have a crash, and I would rather have this aluminum get pushed in a little, and it's almost straight. So there's not a lot of movement that can happen here. Sure, it could get bent in some, but I didn't see the necessity for going with something heavier, more expensive, and harder to work with. So those are the reasons why I used aluminum. If this is something you want to do and you use steel, let me know how it turns out in the comments below. Now, if you do not have the tools at your house, the time or interest in building one of these yourself, send me an email and I will, I'll sell these. I don't know what the price is going to be right now. I haven't worked out how much time it takes me to make one of these. And I also haven't worked out all the cost of the hardware. The hardware is only going to be like maybe $6, $8. It's not going to be a whole lot. But the time it takes to do this is where I want to make sure I recover some of my costs. So if you are interested, send me an email. We'll talk about it. We'll figure that out. The other thing to keep in mind is these are hand manufactured. This isn't a machine. It's not going to be perfect. Holes are not going to be exactly centered. The bends aren't going to be exactly right to match everything up. But I will fit it to my own bike to make sure it works. Now, the other thing that you could do is you could paint this if you wanted to. I chose not to, partly because I knew it's going to get rubbed off. The paint's going to come off. Rocks and stuff that get kicked up from the rear tire are going to be hitting it. I just really didn't see the need. And I think because I already have a silver frame in here, it's fine. It's behind my luggage anyway. Nobody sees it. So if you did want to paint it, you could. Totally up to you. Anyway, I know that there are probably easier ways of doing this, or maybe better ways of doing it. There may be things that I am not thinking about. It seems fairly straightforward, but if you have a better way of doing this, leave that in the comments below. I'm just a garage mechanic, just kind of figuring things out as I go. This seemed to be something that was very helpful for me on my bike, and I wanted to share it with you. Anyway, remember, you can always make more money, but you cannot make more time. So get your bike set up over the winter so that you can get out and ride in the spring, summer, and fall, because you just don't know when you're gonna have that chance again. Thanks for watching. Get out, do some riding, ride safe, and I will see you out there. All right.